Hey guys, PopGamer1202 here, and it is officially time to review the 20th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so if you enjoy, make sure to show support down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you do, feel free to hit that little bell icon to be notified whenever I upload. Now without further ado, enjoy my review of Ant-Man and the Wasp. So Ant-Man and the Wasp brings us back to the story of Ant-Man and acts as a follow-up to Civil War, in which Scott Lang is now on house arrest for fighting alongside Captain America. Meanwhile, Hank Pym and Hope Van Dyne are working on a tunnel to the quantum realm and they need Scott Lang, so they bring him in, and that's where our story starts to unfold. Not only do they have to worry about the FBI, but there's also a few bad guys after them, each trying to obtain an item that is essential to what Hank and Hope are trying to pull off. So now it's time for Scott Lang and Hope Van Dyne to suit up and save the day once again. One of the main focuses of the film is the quantum realm, which we got to explore a tiny bit in the first Ant-Man, but it plays a major role in storytelling within the sequel. And with it comes one of the biggest negatives of the movie, which I'm just going to go ahead and address, and that's the villain side of things. The main villain in the movie, who they call Ghost, has the potential to be a really good villain, but there's something missing there. Not to diss the actress or anything, as she did a really good job within the role, but the way the character was delivered to us just did not satisfy me. She is very much connected to the quantum realm that we explore within the movie, and the idea for her character is actually pretty interesting, but the way her story plays out isn't. She's a cool villain, but in the end just falls kinda flat. Someone else to point out is Walton Goggins, who's been in a few other movies this year, including Tomb Raider and Maze Runner: The Death Cure. He plays a pretty cliche villain, and it just kinda seems like every role he's in is very similar. And he's not a bad actor in any sense, but his character story just didn't interest me as much because it just feels like something I've seen plenty of time. As far as casting goes in this movie, the main cast is absolutely amazing. Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, Michael Douglas, each of them are extremely talented, and if you liked what they delivered in the first Ant-Man, you're gonna like what they deliver here. I read some audience reviews before making this video, and quite a few people were complaining about the relationship between Ant-Man and the Wasp in this film, and I actually did not have a problem with it. I think the relationship actually played out quite nicely. The thing about Ant-Man and the Wasp is that it was a good movie to relieve the intensity of Infinity War. It was a lot more lighthearted and comedic and did not host as much suspension as Infinity War did. And for those of you wondering where Ant-Man and the Wasp falls on the Infinity War timeline, that question is answered, and in a pretty big way. I wasn't a huge fan of the first part of this movie, and I just didn't like the way that Ant-Man was dragged into things, but in the end, I felt that it was totally worth it. And this movie features one of the biggest and probably the most questionable post-credit scenes of any MCU movie, so make sure you stay around for that. And we do get to explore a different side of Scott Lang within this movie. He's trying not to be a criminal anymore and trying to be more of a father. And Paul Rudd is such an amazing actor and does a really good job expressing the relationship with his daughter. Yeah, I enjoyed that sense of the movie, but Ant-Man and the Wasp also features a lot of awesome action scenes, which isn't essential for MCU films. However, it does not maintain the same feelings that other Marvel movies do. I just recently rewatched the first Ant-Man, and I only remember about 70% of it. There's not many of those iconic moments or iconic lines that make me want to watch this movie over and over again, let alone remember any of it. And it's kinda like that here. I feel like Ant-Man and the Wasp is gonna be pretty forgettable as time goes by. I might have to watch it in theaters a second time just to get a grasp of what the heck was going on anyway. But the positives to this film definitely outweigh the negatives by a landslide, and that's why in the end I'm giving Ant-Man and the Wasp an 8 out of 10 on the rating scale. Honestly, I'm pretty sure I like this one more than the first one. It's just a really fun film overall, and it's understandable why they dropped the meter for this movie. I mean, we had Black Panther and Avengers: Infinity War this year, which are both super intense and filled with suspense. So Ant-Man and the Wasp was kind of the calming pill of the MCU. There you guys have it for my review of Ant-Man and the Wasp, and if you enjoyed, make sure to show support down below, and follow me on Twitter at PopGamer1202. Bye! But wait, there's more. Before I go, make sure to stay tuned because very soon I am going to be ranking all 20 MCU movies from worst to best. It's a video that I've been working on for quite some time now, and I'm really excited to get it out now that Ant-Man and the Wasp is finally released. And after that, all I gotta do is wait for Avengers 4.